Happy weekend, everyone. Happy Saturday. So good to see you all. Um, Welcome to Discover Yourself. Um, we are here collectively to spend our to start our weekend with going a little bit deeper in ourselves and understanding some of the very interesting questions that we all subconsciously have. And um, at different points in time over the last couple of days, this group has expressed a desire to discuss those questions collectively. And so I'm just so happy that we are bringing this group together to go deeper, get some discussion started. So we have a lot of um, you on the call, very, very excited. Maybe the right place for us to goes is to get started with some introductions. So maybe we can go around the horn. Everyone can share their name, where you're from, your experience with spirituality, bhakti, yoga, and what do you hope to get out of this session. We'll get into what the session is all about. But before that, why don't we hear from each one of us? Um, to make it less awkward, I can get started. Hi, I'm Raghav Goyal. I am from Delhi, India, though I have now lived in Boston for about 5 years and in Seattle area for another 8. Um, I work for LinkedIn, and that is what brought me here. Um, my experience with spirituality is since 2006. I went to a institute called IIT in India. It's a relatively good university, but a very, very high pressure one. And there I really got close to mindfulness and spirituality as a way to help avoid and deal with stress. It was a very stressful environment. And what do I hope to get out of the series? It's funny that now I've done the series for several times, and every time one would think that after doing this series several times, when there's nothing more to learn. But every time I do the series, I personally get to go deep into some of these concepts and continue learning. So I just love doing these series.
And real quickly, I'll add in that Raghav will be co-hosting this series alongside Gaurav. Raghav has been hosting this series, I think, for over 3 or 4 times now since last year, and he's quite amazing at putting things in a very analytical manner. He's a bit humble to say this, but he then went on to go to MIT. So he brings a really analytical mindset to understanding the science behind bhakti, which to an extent is a spiritual science. So I know that that will be really enjoyable. And Deepak, would you mind doing a introduction for Gaurav, perhaps?
Oh, we can invite Gaurav to do the introduction. I'll just say Gaurav is a very experienced Bhakti yogi practitioner himself. So, Gaurav, please go ahead and do the introduction.
Yes. Hi, everybody. It's my pleasure, and I'm very happy and grateful to be with all of you. So, I am currently working for Microsoft in the security domain, and I've been practicing Bhakti for quite few years, but I still feel I am a starter. I still need to learn and grow together from your experiences and our discussions. So, I look forward to that.
And Gaurav, if you can tell a little bit, like uh, when did you come to Bhakti? Like little bit background. Where do you live? All those stuff that will be helpful.
Yeah, we don't need your exact address, but
Yeah.
general information.
I can give my exact address too. So, yeah, I started practicing bhakti in around 2007 in St. Louis. I was exposed to this tradition, and I really liked that the food, the meditation, and the practitioners who are following this. So I got a very good experience, and then uh, so I was working in different parts of the US, New Jersey, St. Louis, and then finally 2 months back I moved from California to here to Seattle. So I'm currently living in Sammamish with my wife and two children. So I'm able to practice this along with my work, at Microsoft, and it helps me, in my professional relationships, in decision making, and also in my personal life. Dealing with my wife, children, and their, progression in life. So I'm very, very grateful for having this rich, culture and experience of bhakti and spirituality with mindfulness.
Thank you, Gaurav. And Gaurav, due to his wonderful experience, as he said that about the family, he will be able to bring a lot of practical experiences as we go through the discussion. So thank you, Gaurav.
Thank you.
Who would like to go next?
You
I'll
go,
go.
May. You go.
Me? Okay. I can't see myself on this, so I don't know if I'm
No,
talking or not.
we see you,
Okay,
Jerry.
okay. So I'm Jerry, and I am down in Tacoma. My experience with yoga is I started practicing asana in 2006 because I broke my ankle, and someone said, "You should try yoga," and I loved it right away. So I've been practicing and just the asana really. I did my teacher training in 2009 and had every intent of being a teacher, but found out that I prefer being a student. So I'm just a yoga student these days. And what I hope to get out of this is that Bhakti seems like yeah, lifelong learner for sure. Bhakti seems like it resonates with me when it comes to the yoga practice. I've never had a religious practice. I'm more of a spiritual person, and Bhakti seems like it shares a lot of the same, what is it, like thoughts and ideas that yoga does. And so I'm exploring it. And that's it.
Cool. Good to hear from you. My name is Jasper. I'm really from all over. I've moved quite a bit in my life, but I currently live in Gig Harbor, and I don't have too much experience with spirituality and bhakti yoga and mindfulness, but um, I was kind of exposed to it when I was overseas. I studied abroad for 5 months in New Zealand, and um, I was encouraged I found out about a Bhakti Lounge and ended up playing bass guitar for a mantra a few times before I left. And one of the spiritual teachers there had a connection in Seattle, and that's where I found out about Mantra House. And I've been practicing meditating for about a year now, maybe a little less, and it's been a really nice journey. And I hope to get out of this series just an education about myself and the world around me in a different lens. Thank you.
And before we go on, Jerry, Nupur let me know that you are planning on joining. She couldn't join today, but so glad to see you again. And then Jasper as well. So nice to see you, Jasper. We ran into like Jasper mentioned, like just a couple of weeks ago, got connected with him through another person in New Zealand, and just last week he came and played amazing. He played amazing bass guitar, which added to the kirtan. So he's quite a musician. And then also another interesting thing about Jasper is he's currently in college. So I think it's quite interesting to be exploring spirituality at such a young age. And I resonate with that because I'm 22 and that's really when I started exploring it as well. So thank you, Jasper.
Thank you, Ian.
Next.
I can go next. Hi, I'll just turn on my. Yeah. Hi everyone. I'm Preetham Das, and I am from Tripura, India. But I was born there, but I also lived all across India. In basically northeastern part of India. If you're familiar with the map, it's like the extension of India. But yeah, I was there. I was then in Roorkee, so I'm also from IIT Roorkee. Like I don't know which IIT Rakhav is from, but I'm from there. So when I heard IIT, I was like, oh hey. Um, so I'm here now. My experience with spirituality has been I'm new to this, and I was introduced to Mantra House last quarter. I'm currently finishing up my PhD at UW, and just last quarter I got to know about Mantra House, and I came to some mantra meditation sessions, which was really great, and that's how I uh, uh, I'm continuing to explore this more deeply, and through this series. Yeah, I just I'm yeah, what do I hope to get out of this series? I just want to know more about spirituality, like actually follow a course or a structured learning process so that I can just know more. But yeah, it's me. Thank you so much. Oh, I see a few questions, but they disappeared.
This is
Raghav's
the
asking what's your
end.
PhD.
Oh, I'm doing my PhD in Civil and Environmental Engineering department, and currently working with satellite remote sensing to try to understand basically how dams affect our river systems. Um, so
Fascinating. Very fascinating.
yeah, trying to defend this quarter. So I'll send my defense link. Please be there if you can. You know.
Big day for you.
Yeah, more people, more fun, always interesting to talk about what I've been spending my last 4 years thinking about. Yeah, happy to be here.
I can go next. I'm Shakti. I'm originally from New Jersey. Um, and I came to Seattle to go to grad school. So I just finished last year, and that's kind of when I found out about Mantra House. But I just never got a chance to come to the meetings because I was just always so busy with schoolwork and work. Um, my experience with spirituality is I grew up in the Hindu family, but we were always more spiritual than religious. So I've been constantly exposed to it, and just I think after moving away from my family, just trying to figure out like how to incorporate those practices I grew up with. So like I'm hoping to kind of join this community and kind of get that like community of like-minded people around me that I had back home. And yeah, I'm hoping to get out of this series just deeper understanding of like who I am, what my values are, but then also like kind of help learn like what my place is in this world. So I'm really excited to meet all of you guys, and I'm really excited to have some good conversations.
Wonderful, Sakti. And now you're based in Seattle now?
I am.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you, Shakti. And Linda, I find your statements so honest. You want to share a little bit more?
Yeah, okay.
We can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
My name is Linda. I'm from Spokane, Washington. I am very new to this. I'm not religious, but I do have a lot of respect for what I'm learning. And I really don't know who I am. I just recently lost my daughters, and so I've lost both of my daughters actually to death, and I'm scared of this life.
Hey Linda, I can't hear you super well. You said something around like I recently got your daughter. Did you just have a baby girl?
My daughters they were two adult daughters. They were older.
Okay. Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
That's tough to hear, Linda. Yeah, but I'm really hoping that through these sessions you're able to find some answers. And I can't imagine what it was like to go through that experience. Thank you for being honest and sharing. It takes a lot to be vulnerable, and really praying. And we're encouraged that not just from yourself, but many others in this group, we're getting lots of honest, open answers, and also a large willingness to learn, which I think will reflect well in hopefully the takeaways and the practicability of a lot of the lessons.
Mhm.
I can go next. My name's Ian. I'm from Redmond, Seattle. I don't know what to call it. I was born and brought up here. Um, and I'm 22, like I mentioned. What's my experience with spirituality, bhakti, yoga, mindfulness? Um, I was not exactly born into a spiritual background. My parents took it up later as I grew older in my teenage years. So, being a rebellious teenager, I never really quite had much interest in it. But once I started going to college, something, you know, clicked a little bit where I started to question and start just experimenting with it a little bit more. And that's when I discovered bhakti and meditation and some of those other practices, which I've really resonated with. And that's part of the reason why this organization exists today, because when I was in college, I helped restart the Bhakti Yoga Club there. And then as I graduated, I realized that there is a lack of community for people who are not just in college. So that's where this idea of building community around Bhakti Yoga came from, known as Mantra House now. So I'm really excited to be attending these sessions. I think this is, I've lost count. I think maybe the fourth or fifth time I'm going through it, if not more. And every time I learn more because we bring in so many new perspectives and questions. It's wisdom that never ends. So I'm really excited to be with all of you on this journey.
I can go next. Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
Suan.
Okay. Hi, my name is Suyen. I am from Vietnam, but I moved here when I was about 10 years old. So it's been about over 30 years. So I've been in Seattle for a long time. My experience with Bhakti, I have no experience at all. I'm new to this. I was browsing on Facebook a couple months ago and I saw Mantra House. And so I decided to went to one of your guys's meditation, and I find that it's very relaxing and I enjoyed it. So that's why I'm here. What I hope to get out of this series, I want to learn the meaning of life, like to discover more about myself, and I hope to get a better. We learn and have a better relationship with friends and family. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Suan, for joining. Thank you very much. And I'm pretty sure the things which you mentioned, this series will be able to help you. You will become the way the series has been built, and we'll talk a little bit briefly after the quick intro. Is allow you to become more self-aware, right? And as you become self-aware, the things we're talking about, relationships, all those things will start improving. And as you keep growing in this, you would see that we will discover like knowing yourself. So yes, you should be able to help your aspiration. So thank you for joining.
Thank you.
And Amelia, thank you for joining as well. Yeah, she had mentioned that she will be driving today, but I'll just read off what she said so everybody can hear. I live in North Seattle and I've practiced yoga on and off over the past 15 years. My spirituality journey started about 6 years ago, and I'm here to learn more about Bhakti Yoga mindfulness. I attended the Kirtan event last Saturday and really enjoyed it. Thank you for joining, Amelia. I think that's everybody. Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay, so for everyone, this is a group of 8 discussions, and as we get to know ourselves better, or as we try to discover ourselves, we go through 8 very different topics, which are very connected, that you will see that are ultimately created and synthesized so that we can know ourselves a little better. We start with harmonizing the body, mind, and spirit, and even identifying what these 3 things are in what are the differences and similarities in these 3 things. And then we talk about the pursuit of happiness. What does happiness mean, and how do we get there? We get into talking about the consciousness, who we really are, and then talk about the mind. Many times we say my mind, and we say like mind is very fickle. And then we talk about the piece around like, how do we befriend the mind? Then we go into the topics of moods and modes around the modes of nature and what is karma. And as we get into the topics of karma, we try to distill what is karma, and if everything is destined, what is free will? And this takes us to the topic of spiritual evolution, a very important journey that we will cover over the next 8 weeks as we try to understand who we truly are, and make our understanding a little bit better than we have today. So thank you for being in this journey for us, with us. Um, as we, if go to the next one, next slide, please. Uh, our discussions. Okay, do you want to go? Do you want to give a? Okay, I'll give you a very quick overview of how the conversation would be structured every week. We would want to do a little bit of an introduction, an icebreaker every week for all of us. We'll watch a few minutes of videos together that has an overview of some of the very important concepts, the concept that we want to be discussing, because I think like many of you, as you all shared, are relatively new. So we talk a little, see a video together, and then we spend majority of the time talking about what did we learn from the video and answering very specific questions that help us scratch the surface and go deeper in our understanding that particular day around that concept. And then we share our reflections in a group or a subgroup, depending upon the group size. So that's how we go about doing every week. Again, the focus is a lot more on understanding, sharing, reflecting, and being very communicative. So everyone, please feel free to share as much as you feel comfortable with. This is a very safe space. I really appreciate. I think that the more we share, the more we will get out of this. So definitely, please feel free. Please feel welcomed to share what you are experiencing, what you are thinking, so that we can scratch the surface more and more. Any questions? Otherwise, we go into some of the videos.
So before we just go into the video, one last one point. So to manage our cohort, typically what we do, we create a WhatsApp group. But before we go and add, we seek your permission. If any of you would not like to be WhatsApp group, and that group is where you can ask any questions you have. After the sessions, some notes will be shared with you, so you will get to read the notes also. So anybody who would have a problem getting added to the WhatsApp, and you can be totally frank, it's not a problem. Some people just don't like any messages whatsoever, right? So anybody who would not be interested in getting added in the WhatsApp?
I don't have everybody's number, so I'll go ahead and PM you if I don't know where to get it from, so I can get it from you.
Okay. Okay. So I'll just check. Shuan, you are okay getting added into the WhatsApp?
I think I'm on your group.
Okay, no, so we'll create a separate group only for this learning session, right? That's for the mantra house. We'll create a
Okay.
separate session so that in the small forum, you can ask the question and we can communicate.
I see. Please add me.
Okay. And Linda, will you be okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Shakti,
Yep, please add me.
Jerry, okay. Jasper,
Yes, please. I'd love to be added.
okay.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Preetham. Okay, Amelia.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Okay, but Raghav, please go ahead. Sorry, I'm not going to interrupt you anymore.
Worries.
You're welcome to do that. Okay. Ian, over to you. Let's play the videos. Very exciting videos. I can't wait to share.
Harmonizing body, mind, and spirit through meditation. According to the National Health Interview Survey, 75% of the general population in America experiences at least some stress every 2 weeks. Millions of people around the world suffer from unhealthy levels of stress. This stress contributes to heart disease, high blood pressure, strokes, and affects the immune system in many individuals. Throughout the day when we experience stress, our body automatically reacts in ways that prepare us to fight or run. In some cases of extreme danger, the physical response is helpful. However, a prolonged state of such agitation can cause physical damage in every part of the body. One of the main causes of stress is the disharmony of body, mind, and spirit. Meditation is a means by which the body, mind, and spirit can be harmonized. Meditation affects the body in exactly the opposite ways that stress does, restoring the body to a calm state, helping the body to repair itself, and prevent new damage due to the physical effects of stress. The mental relaxation that meditation brings has real physiological benefits. The American Heart Association reports recent studies funded by National Institutes of Health that those practicing meditation lowered their blood pressure and reported less stress and anger, and exhibited a direct correlation between meditation and decreased incidence of heart attack and stroke. For thousands of years, spiritual traditions from around the world have emphasized the need for a balanced practice of contemplation and meditation in our individual lives. Today, science and biology affirm the same. What is meditation? According to the Webster Dictionary, the meaning of the word meditate is to engage in contemplation or reflection, or to engage in mental exercise for the purpose of reaching a heightened level of spiritual awareness. The main objective of meditation is to focus one's attention. It could be a focus on sensations of breathing, or emotions or thoughts, or sound vibrations. Ultimately, it's about bringing the mind back to here and now, as opposed to letting the mind drift. Meditation helps stabilize the mind and calm the senses of the body. However, the purpose of meditation is not to simply stabilize the mind as an end in itself, but to use the stabilized, sharpened mind to achieve a higher state of consciousness, which brings serenity, clarity, and bliss for the spirit within. Different kinds of meditation. Meditation can be practiced in many different ways. While there are numerous different meditation techniques, a common thread runs through virtually all meditative techniques. Being in the now, rather than focusing on the past or the future, virtually all meditative practices involve focusing on right now. This involves experiencing each moment, letting it go, and experiencing the next. Altered state of consciousness. With time, maintaining a quiet mind and focus on the present can lead to an altered level of consciousness that isn't a sleeping state, but isn't quite the average wakeful state either. Meditation increases brain activity in an area of the brain associated with happiness, positive thoughts, and emotions. Regular practice brings prolonged positive changes in these areas. Researchers generally classify meditation techniques into two different categories: concentrative and non-concentrative. Concentrative techniques involve focusing on a particular object that's generally outside of oneself: a candle's flame, the sound of an instrument, or a particular mantra. Non-concentrative meditation, on the other hand, can include a broader focus. The sounds in one's environment, as well as internal body states and one's own breathing. Mantra meditation. Let us explore one of the forms of meditation, mantra meditation, or meditation on sound vibrations. Mantra is a Sanskrit word which means that which frees the mind. A mantra is a sound vibration that frees the mind from all stress and built-up negative emotional energies like anger, vengeance, envy, and prepares the mind to tune in to the positive emotional energies like forgiveness, tolerance, compassion, and humility. Sound vibrations have the potency to alter the state of our mind. If someone speaks to us rudely, our mind becomes depressed. If someone speaks to us with kindness and love, our mind becomes elated. If we hear our favorite song or music, our mind becomes relaxed. Powerful speeches from great leaders have inspired the minds of people to create revolutions in history. These are all the effects of sound vibrations altering the state of the mind. Mantra meditation is based on this principle. The mantra recommended to overcome the ill effects of this age of disagreement and duplicity is the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare is the spiritual feminine energy which is all-accepting, all-forgiving, and all-loving. Krishna is the all-attractive source of beauty, love, power, and truth. Rama is the reservoir of ecstatic spiritual pleasure, the joy of giving and serving. The combination of these three words as arranged in the mantra calls upon the facilities within us that illuminate the mind with spiritual energy. The 3P formula. Mantra meditation can be easily performed by following the 3P formula. Posture. One should sit in a comfortable, relaxed position, neither too rigid nor too flexible. Pronunciation. Each syllable of the mantra must be pronounced clearly so as to produce the right sound vibration. Mantra meditation is all about focusing the mind on hearing the sound vibration, and hence pronouncing all the syllables correctly is very important. Prayer. While focusing on the sound vibration, the practitioner is encouraged to meditate on the meaning of each word as mentioned above. This chanting is a call for grace. An attitude of gratitude prepares the mind to tune into higher realms of consciousness. Overcoming challenges during meditation. One of the major stumbling blocks for a meditation practitioner has been to contend with the restless mind. Unless the mind is purified of its lower, base instincts, it will continue to provide newer challenges and obstacles. Wisdom from the Bhagavad Gita, an ancient text on Bhakti Yoga, says, "For one who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for one who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy." The constant practice of the process of mantra meditation helps tame the restless mind by gradually befriending it. A regulated lifestyle of healthy diet, discipline, and positive association helps in reducing distractions and in steadying the mind. The activities that we perform during the entire day have a profound impact on the mind's response during meditation.
The quality of the sound that you hear every day will equal the quality of your life, because sound is transformational. It's the most subtle element, and the kind of sound we choose to hear has consequences. There's high sound and low sound. High sound is spiritual sound, and low sound is material sound. This is how the ancient Vedic wisdom texts put it. That brings us to the topic of mantra meditation. A mantra is a combination of syllables which are inherently spiritual. By repeating the mantra, the mind is delivered. In fact, the word mantra means man, mind, and tra, to deliver. Mantra, that sound vibration that delivers the mind from anxiety and from attachment to the unreal or the temporary. Everything in this world resonates at a certain level of sound vibration. So if I keep two tuning forks and I hit one, the other one will pick up the sound vibration from the first one and will also begin to resonate, even though they're not touching. In a similar way, when we chant the mantra, the vibration will resonate with our spiritual self. That's our higher self. When we hear material sound vibration, it resonates with the physical and mental body, which keeps us bound to the material realm. See, just by repeating the mantra itself will resonate with our higher self, and it will expand our consciousness, bringing us to higher levels of awareness. Some people describe a mantra as a seed. When you plant a seed, it looks insignificant. But one day, this tree behind me was an insignificant seed. But now, it's a huge tree that gives shelter to thousands, if not millions, of living entities. In the same way, the mantra, although it looks like an ordinary phrase, when chanted and listened to and watered by giving one's attention, grows into something wonderful. And that's for you to experience. When you water the mantra by chanting it, hearing it, giving it your attention, you'll not only gain the power of focus, but you'll also learn the wonders of the mantra, or rather, the mantra will reveal its wonders to you. In more modern terms, a mantra is like a zip file. It just looks like a little icon. But when you click on that icon, it opens up volumes of information. Some mantras are only one syllable. For instance, Om, one syllable. But when you chant that mantra, it'll open to you all the information in the universe. All the yoga wisdom texts agree that in our particular age, called the age of Kali, the best way to meditate is through mantra meditation. In part 2, I'll tell you exactly how to chant the mantra. Stay tuned.
That was fascinating, isn't it? Okay, everyone. So let's go deeper and start to scratch the surface around what we heard and start to go deeper into some of these questions. So let's first discuss, what are the benefits of meditation? We all are here to understand a little bit about this. What are the benefits?
I've noticed since I've started meditation and also mantra meditation that it gives me something to look forward to, and also not just in a temporal sense, but a spatial sense. I feel that I'm more aware everywhere I go, and knowing that I'm only in the very baby steps in the way of spirituality, and I'm already feeling this way, it encourages me to keep going.
That's beautiful, Jasper.
My experience has been that it calms the mind, and it helps with my anger, and just not being so reactive to situations and having a more kind of compassionate response to things that could have been triggering in the past. It is hard to show up every day and meditate, but when I do get into that practice and I'm committed, it's easier to just show up every day, I guess. I don't know. Meditation is hard. It's like, it takes a lot of work. But the results, like the feeling that you get is amazing. And every time I'm in that practice, I say to myself, God, why do I always walk away from this? Like, this makes me feel so good. And people around me notice it when I am practicing, whether it's my asana or my meditation. They do notice a change in me, that I'm more grounded and I'm more calm, just a more pleasant person in general.
Excellent, Jerry. It does calm the mind. It just has that effect on you. Yes.
Yeah, I think going off of what Jerry said, it also just really helps with like, right, because life, like there's so much, we're always so busy and stressed out and worrying about like the next thing we need to do. So it's really nice to like help ground ourselves, like decrease like anxiety and just kind of focus on the present moment and just realize that a lot of the stuff that we're stressed about is minute in the grand scheme of things, at least for me.
Very true. It uplevels you.
For me, it has been like whenever I say Om, and then I listen to myself, I close my eyes, I feel like whatever things are going in my head, I can set aside. I know that, okay, I am here right now, and I can look forward, I can look backward, and it just opens up that uh, yeah, just brings me to the present, which I really like, which I believe I cannot. It's difficult to get in any other way or any other form. So I think that's how it really helps me bring my focus, attention to the present.
Excellent, Preetham. Looks like you're already doing some kind of mantra meditation with Om. That's excellent. And what you said is here is really important, everyone. Um, Definitely, meditation brings us to a calmer state. It helps us be more emotionally aware. What Jasper, you said, it helps us be more compassionate, and it helps us stabilize our emotion. Of course, it also has a lot of physiological and health benefits around, like blood pressure and heart disease. One major takeaway here also is that with that calm state of mind, we are able to be more aware and introspect deeper and connect more deeply. So that is what the benefit of meditation and a calm mind coming out of meditation is. So really, really good. Lots of meditation practitioners here. Uh, Gaurav, I know you have been practicing meditation for a very long time. Anything that you would want to share?
I was impressed by what Jerry said. Jerry said it takes hard work to meditate. So I was reflecting, I just joined YMCA, so I was seeing even it takes hard work to reduce your carbs, to maintain that weight that you have, right? And even to sustain a job, you need to work hard. But meditation is such a nice thing. Like it brings you happiness and joy. Obviously, in this world, if you don't put effort, everything tends to degrade, right? Like gravity, if you hold something, it goes down. But meditation is a practice which gives you happiness and joy, and with that little effort, right? So it is worth doing it. So I just, yeah, based on experience, I just realized that, and I fully concur with what Jerry said. Thank you, Jerry, for reminding me that.
Wonderful. Okay. Now let's go to our next discussion topic. What are the different kinds of meditation? What's unique about mantra meditation?
I could go first again. For me, mantra meditation is really special because I'm very musically inclined and have been since about 11 years old. And um, when I was first exposed to it, I was playing an instrument, and so it not only did it harmonize my mind and spirit, but also my body, because my body was contributing to the vibrations that make it to our spirit. And so um, that's what it really was. That was what was really special about it for me, was the physicalness of it.
Yeah, of all the meditations I've tried, which is just concentrating on the breath, focusing on a noise, mantra was the funnest, I think. It's very cool because it's, the tongue, the way it's moving in the mouth has effects on the brain, and you can get into a really deep state as you're repeating all those mantras. I had a strong mantra practice for about 8 months, and then there were days where it was hard to show up. And I knew that, like, towards the end, like, when I quit doing that, I realized, like, at the end, I'm like, man, I just don't know if I'm going to move on to the next one, because I was working through my chakras and I didn't. And I was so close. I was like, the next one was the throat. But anyways, yeah, mantra is fun.
Thanks for sharing.
I think one thing that's unique about mantra meditation is how it engages you. I think something that Jerry mentioned and Jasper also mentioned is the engagement with mantra meditation, whether it's physically using a skill or talent you have, or whether it's the actual practice of saying the mantra, you're engaging your senses to some extent. You're engaging what you have in the meditation. It's not just stillness, but rather it's engagement, which is, as humans, what we are used to doing with everything we have, which is engaging it.
That is such a good point, Ian. Many times, so there are two types of meditations, right? Concentrative and non-concentrative. In the concentrative, folks may want to say, let's concentrate on a candle, on the candlelight, or non-concentrative, let's not think about anything. Those are real hard because you are not engaging. Um, and those that is where many meditation practices fall off as well. That's the cool part about mantra meditation, is because it focuses on the sound. And with sound, you have two very, very important things. You have to say it, and then you have to listen to it. So you are engaging two of the five most important senses that you have. And therefore, you are, through the sounds that are getting created, you're creating the positive vibrations that are positively affecting your mind. Um, so that might be something that to keep in mind, or I don't know if that registered through the videos.
Yeah, I just want to share my thoughts here. So I think that the power of sound is the greatest means for our transformation. And for example, if you take a high pitched sound, it can break glass. Like when there is sonic boom and it crack the walls, and there are gunshots which can cause avalanches on one side. Then you see the other side where there is a healing perspective to the sound in terms of, we have cognitive behavioral therapy in psychology. That is the power of speech, sound. And then you also have ultrasound, which is a sound vibration. Through ultrasound, you can heal. You can see tumors, you can dissolve kidney stones. And on a very subtle level, the sound affects the mind. So when you are thinking something, you may not be speaking, but within your mind, thinking is also subtle sound, which is telling you something to do or not to do, right? Like right now, you're thinking, what am I speaking? So it's kind of a subtle sound, which I can't hear, but you can hear yourself. So the power of sound is that it can make us angry, or it can make us forgiving. It can make us generous, or it can make us greedy. So, yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. Yes, very, very important. Now that we are talking a little bit about our personal experiences, so why don't we share that how how you have observed, or you can observe now looking back, sound vibrations or different types of sounds have affected your mind.
I can go first, and I was thinking about this while trying to think what mantra meditation has been for me. One of the sessions that I went in the first mantra meditation session, I felt so many emotions come up during that meditation, and at the end of it, I was really happy. I was feeling so great, um, but um, but those emotions and all that, I don't know what it was, but it was just an amazing experience that I never felt myself. That all of those memories, all of those things that I was thinking about came together at once. And at the end of it, it felt great. I was feeling like, wow, like these are parts of my brain that I've not touched in such a long time, and all that. So yeah, those kind of memories were unlocked for me, which was really moving for me.
I've got kind of a different story about how I've observed how meditation has affected me. I worked in a lab for a short period of time when I was overseas, psychology lab. That's my degree. And we were putting EEG caps on people. It's kind of what they put on for sleep studies. You have a bunch of wires coming out of the head, and it measures your brain waves. And so I was curious one day when I had it on for a demonstration to see if the psychological effects of meditation were true, and they've been proven to alter your state of consciousness. And so while watching my brain waves, I closed my eyes, got into a meditative state for about 20 seconds, opened my eyes, and as soon as I opened my eyes and stopped the meditation, I saw the brainwaves change from a lower state of consciousness to the waking state. And it blew my mind because I watched myself come out of a meditative state with knowledge of with empirical evidence. And so that was kind of a really big turning point for me, that I saw my brain doing very cool things.
That's so interesting. I wish I was there to see that.
Thanks for sharing that, Jasper. Very nice.
Is there anything from the video that we're able to connect to our personal experiences of how the sounds that we hear on a day-to-day basis affect our mind? Good sounds and not so good sounds.
For me, I am new to this. So I've been to only a couple sessions, and my first one, I was confused. It's like my mind was confused. It's like something, new. But then I felt like I was more present. And at the end of the meditation, I felt very energized. So yeah, and it's a good vibe.
It's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah, and it helps me more focus versus like when I sit down and I try to meditate, like a mindful meditation. It's really hard for my mind just to stay on one topic and to focus. But versus mantra meditation, I feel like I'm more present.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you know what you say is so beautiful because and there's a science to this because the sounds that we hear have a profound impact on us. Have you ever observed that if you put on very loud, fast music in the car, you want to drive faster? But if you put very calming music in the car, you don't want to get, you will not get a speeding ticket. Um, or like if you're at a bar and it's like loud music, bar always tries to put loud music. But when you are like putting your baby to sleep, or when you are trying to go to sleep yourself, you want to put calming music. So sound has that effect on us. We vibrate with the sound. So sound creates those vibrations, and those vibrations affect us physically, mentally, and emotionally. So what you share is exactly very scientific. That sounds have those impact on us. And when you say that by going to the kirtan or to the meditation, mantra meditation, that has an up-leveling effect on you because those are spiritual sounds, and therefore you have greater awareness and greater energy. It's so scientific.
Yeah, and it felt really nice afterward. Like you feel like you're a new person, more energized, have more energy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Raghav put very nicely, Zuyan. One more point I was thinking on this is you mentioned that, Zuyan, when you go to this kirtans, when you are with like-minded people, it has a more positive impact. So I was thinking of the example that was given in the video, like when the sun shines on the seeds, right? It becomes a tree, and the energy is contained within that wood. So when you put fire, it awakens the fire within that wood. So wood is actually not fire, but the fire of the sun is within that wood. So when you put fire or when you come in contact with like-minded people in that, mantra house, so when you put fire basically or come in contact, it awakens that fire element. It awakens that love within you, within the wood. And that's how the wood actually burns. So it is our nature to be happy, to express that love, to be an instrument of that love. So when we experience that love, we become so grateful and we offer our love back. And it's like, when we associate with like-minded people, it's like putting fire to that wood, and the fire is innate within all of us, right? So it's just a matter of, being together and igniting that fire.
Very well put. And Gaurav, that's a perfect transition into what our next question is, which is what are some of the challenges faced by a practitioner during meditation? And Jerry, this is very close to what you had said earlier, and Gaurav, you had said earlier that meditation can be hard. So, what are the challenges that we experience when we meditate?
I think it's just showing up every day. The key for me is having a place to go, like the same spot, and planning it out. It's like any successful like exercise routine, dedicating a time and a space and showing up every day. And when I was doing my little challenge through the chakras, I was repeating mantras, 108 times consistently, and I had to do them for a certain amount of days. And if I didn't show up, I would have to start the mantra over. So that helped keep me accountable. But yeah, it's having something to keep you accountable to show up to that space. And then comfort is a big thing, right? Like you want to have your hips above your knees because it's just a little bit more comfortable, and being warm, not like freezing, because then your mind's going to wander to, oh my gosh, like I'm so uncomfortable sitting here. I'm really cold right now. But yeah, those are challenges.
Absolutely. Those are exactly the right ones. I'm conscious of time, so we'll move along a little bit more quickly for the next couple of minutes and try to wrap up in another 2, 3 minutes. But do want to address Jerry's point. Um, that sometimes meditation can be hard and showing up every day is hard. So what is a lifestyle that is conducive for meditation? And I think we do want to end on this note that there is a lifestyle that we need to build around ourselves to make it conducive for meditation. Posture is very important, what Jerry mentioned. Like you want to be in a comfortable position. You can't be sitting on a bar, on your kitchen table stool to do meditation. It has to be comfortable. But also, it is very important that we surround ourselves with like-minded people who keep us accountable, who energize us, enthuse us, who motivate us to do meditation, who share best practices of what did they experience, and because that would motivate us to do meditation better, and show up every day. And once we get into the cycle of doing it and getting inspired by others and inspiring others, it will become second nature, just like bodybuilding or going to the gym. And one of the cool things that is really, really important here is just the power of community, everyone. It is the power of community that has kept me for the last 19 years for doing meditation. And that is what we are trying to cultivate through small groups like these. And so that we can all learn together, keep each other accountable, and create a space, a virtual space to begin with, where we can all share our journeys together and keep each other from and help each other grow. So that's definitely a note that to keep in mind.
Yeah, it's very nice, Raghav. Thank you. But even after we do everything, there would be times when we will miss it. We will, there would be challenges, there would be difficulties. So my teacher gives a very good example of a GPS. When you put a GPS to a destination address and it says take exit after 300 feet, take exit to the right after 100 feet, after 50 feet, and you are busy with something, your phone rings or you get distracted, you'll miss that exit. But doesn't mean you just stop there and say, oh, I missed the exit. Then the GPS recalibrates, it recalculates, right? So we come back to our practice and don't get demotivated or discouraged. So we should always be very inspired and enthusiastic, even if we, sometimes miss it or not able to do it.
Absolutely. Be kind to yourself. Very, very important message, Gaurav. And yes. So everyone, thank you all for joining. Have a fabulous rest of the weekend and week. We will see you all next Saturday at the same time. Um, and I really hope that this helped you get a little bit deeper and we can be on this journey together. If you have any more questions, definitely feel free to ask on the WhatsApp group, and we will be friends for the next 8 weeks at least. Take good care.
Thank you,
Thank
Raghav. Thank
you.
you,
Thank you so
Raghav.
much.
Gaurav.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Have a great rest